Well, good morning, everybody. It's nice to see that some of us got the memo that it is now officially flannel weather. So you're all looking wonderful. My name's John Moody. I am your music director for today. We are joined on stage with Dave Van Haren on drums. Liz Kelly is pulling double duty today because not only is she playing piano, but we get to see her lead our Unity Joyful Voices for special music. And with that, too, we also get to welcome back our favorite Kei Sato on piano as well. So, if you are able to, please stand as we welcome Deb Imbrock, our song leader, up on stage, and we lead in our congregational songs.
Good morning. My name is Lynn Sager. I'm your platform. I'm your platform person for today. Thanks to everyone who's made this service possible today. Our usher team, PowerPoint, audio and streaming, script, hospitality, bookstore, youth leaders, and of course our wonderful music team. If you have not done so already, now is a good time to silence your phone. I'm going to give you a second to do that. Silence your phone. And if anyone is here for the first time, welcome. We're glad you're here. We have a small gift bag for you after service. There's a card in the pew pocket in front of you. It's a yellow one. Fill it out. Hand it to an usher when you leave. And we are so glad that you are joining us for today. We've got a few announcements. We've got a great service planned today. Reverend Judy her talk today is Living Life from the Inside Out. And then Unity's Joyful Voices will be, as John said, providing special music. Now, after service today is our annual meeting, and it will be held here in the sanctuary pretty much right after service, like as soon as we can. What's that? 15 minutes, so and you can get back. We do have our holiday tradition of Attitude of Gratitude, which we are collecting items now. Listen carefully. Please bring in non-perishable foods from now until November 17th. Then all the food will be donated to Loaves and Fishes. Please, no glass, no outdated food. Pop Top is really helpful because that helps the unhoused, people who need easy access to food. Here's a quick list of things that they need if you're trying to think of what you want to put up here in the baskets. Cereal, canned soups and stews, meals in a box, shelf-stable almond milk, baking mixes, protein drinks are a big one, canned meat, granola bars, kid-friendly snacks. Those are the big items, and I think we'll find some way to make sure that's posted somewhere. If you have any questions about what they're looking for there, that would be great. You can, find one of us, and we'll let you know. Choir practice tomorrow at 5:30. All voices are welcome. So we can get ready to sing for Bountiful Feast. So we have a lot of really good music coming up for the holidays. Speaking of Bountiful Feast, that is November 24th. After service, there's sign-up sheets out in the lobby. Sign up to help with decorating, setup, serving, tear down. And then there's also a sign-up sheet so we know how many people are coming so that we can plan for turkey. Our Unity and Community team has come up with a project. It's kind of a win-win event, an easy way to support the local animal rescue project and get new Unity t-shirts and sweatshirts. So they will, by ordering and purchasing them, will be able to donate the proceeds to the animal rescue project. Next Sunday, before Election Tuesday, Reverend Judy will present The Art of Getting Along. With special music by Joanne Rome. And the Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion team is hosting a discussion about the book The Seed Keeper, excellent read by Diane Wilson, and our discussion will be November 10th after service. Everyone is invited to participate, read the book, join the discussion. If you can't join the discussion, read the book. It's worth it. And John.
So, as many of you know, that Dave and I are staples in the musical theater scene, and one that I wanted to talk to you about because it's kind of a big deal, is that Portage Central is currently doing the pilot program for the teen version of Hadestown. If you're not familiar, it's a Depression-era retelling of the story of Orpheus and Eurydice. So it's kind of like Titanic. You already know what's going to happen. But this is a very special honor that they have because they're kind of the ones breaking it in for all the other high schools. And because of that, they're also under a lot of very strict marketing and advertising things. So really the only way that they can tell people about it is what I'm doing now, is word of mouth. So it is going today and then next Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. And for those that really don't know, Kalamazoo Portage area has an embarrassment of riches in terms of the arts community and the support that they get. Like, these kids are doing work that I would put is on par with touring productions. especially Portage Central, has been mentioned in Playbill, which is the Broadway magazine, numerous times. They've had numerous accolades. And you really owe it to yourself just to see how hard these kids are working to see this. So Hadestown is running again today at 2 o'clock, Friday and Saturday at 7:30, and then next Sunday at 2 o'clock. So, I mean, if you wanted to make it a whole day next week by coming to church, having a nice lunch, then going there, that sounds like a great option.
Thanks, John. And now, as we prepare to move into service, let's join together in our mission statement. As an all-inclusive community, we awaken to spirit, grow into our soul, and build a better world. And our vision, that we celebrate a world of ever-awakening consciousness, abundance, peace, and love for all. And our core values of love, authenticity, stewardship, oneness, playfulness. Our land and labor acknowledgement. Our spiritual community acknowledges Black, Indigenous, and people of color whose lands and labor were forcibly taken. We pledge to promote understanding, equity, justice, and inclusivity. And a blessing for all children. As you go your way, know that you are loved, special, and important to us.
I dreamed of rain and the rains came, soft and easy, sweet and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and the green was easy and the rivers ran clear. I dreamed of summer and the winds changed, and peace spread over the land. And the flowers bloom in the desert, and the air is fresh and clear. I dreamed of rain and the rains came, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and the way was easy and the path was clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and the sound was easy and the song was clear. I dreamed of heaven and the earth sang, and peace spread over the land. And the guardian stars are shining, and the night is bright and clear. I dreamed of freedom and the moon rose, and peace spread over the land. And peace spread over the land. And peace spread over the land.
Good morning, everyone. This is the time in our service where we take a nice deep breath, take a pause, take some time to reflect and pray and meditate and just get in touch with that divine presence that is deep within each and every one of us. And so let's begin that time together with a reading of the daily word. The word for today is creative. Stunning visual arts, inspirational music, a brilliant performance. These are all lovely examples of creativity, but they are by no means the only ones. Creativity is the very nature of life. From the most soaring, soul-inspiring instance to the mundane moments that fill daily life. Throughout it all, creativity abounds. Creative activities are prayers in action, a continuation of divine activity in its infinite manifestations. Living is a creative act. It's the way I am in the world, the way I love, the way I relate to all others. Understanding it in this way, I see how I am using my thoughts, feelings, and imagination to create my experiences. I bring my divine gifts to life through my creativity. And the passage today is from Genesis chapter 1, verse 26. Then God said, "Let us make humankind in our image, according to our likeness, and let them have dominion." And so our affirmation for today is this: the creative energy of spirit expresses through me. And I'll say that once more and then invite you to join me. The creative energy of spirit expresses through me. Together, the creative energy of spirit expresses through me. So let's just take a moment to take that thought in. How each and every one of us, really and truly, is always expressing in a creative way. Even though we are not painters or composers or musicians, maybe. That's how we typically think of creativity. But none of us could get through the day without some creative thought and creative inspiration. And we are constantly finding new ways, constantly spouting new ideas, always moving in new directions with fresh thoughts, seeing the world through slightly different eyes than we saw with yesterday. And so if we expand our thoughts about what truly is creative, we can see ourselves in that process. And truly, it is the way we look at the world that creates our experience of it. If we see the world as a friendly place, odds are we see people who are smiling at us. We share laughter with friends and family. We generally have an easy time as we go about our day and accomplish our tasks. And by the same token, if we see the world as anything less than friendly, loving, amazing, and incredible, then that is how we experience the world. And so it's up to us. We don't often think of creativity as a decision. we often associate it with the word expression. But the decisions we make about how we see the world determine how we express in the world. And if you believe that your mission here is to bring more good into the world, to bring more God into the world, then that is how you express. And you turn frowns into smiles, sadness into joy, anxiety into peace, and worries and concerns into joy. It really and truly is up to us in each and every moment to creatively bring more good and more God. And so I invite you now to take that thought. How can I bring more good and more God? How can I express that today in a way that's different from yesterday? Hold those thoughts in your heart for just a few moments and let your creative energy flow around them. And we take those thoughts now into a few moments of silence. I invite you to bring your attention and focus back into this place. And hopefully to return to this place with a sense of, yes, I can do this a little differently. I might try that. Again, creatively expressing who you are, what you bring to the world, the way in which you see the world and experience the world. And the way that you put your arms around every person in your life, everyone that you meet with. And even if you don't do it physically, just to gently surround them with kind and loving thoughts that creatively shift the energy of each and every space that we are in. We can do this. We do this. And this is how we create the world that we want to live in, that we want for each other. This is how peace falls over the land. And for this and so much more, we say thank you, God. Amen.
Music is a language that can speak to one and all. This is why we sing, why we lift our voice, why we stand as one in harmony. This is why we sing, why we lift our voice. Take my hand and sing with me. This is why we sing. We
Can you say dynamics? Can you say enunciate? I understood every single word they said. Fabulous. I know what the rest of the schedule looks like, and I can't wait. Well done, well done. So I have a couple of questions for you here this morning. Is it possible to be present and to also be unavailable in the same moment? Can you really be fully aware of the world around you and not engaged in some aspect of it on some level? Do you have a do not disturb setting for your psyche, and do you know how to use it? Now, I'm sure every person in this room has their own ideas about this and their own experiences of it. From my perspective, this subject is of the utmost importance because in so many ways, it speaks to our ability to survive and thrive in the world. So my objective this morning is to answer these questions as best I can by looking at how spiritual truth can be used to influence and shape our day-to-day experiences of life. So let's begin this conversation with the questions I posed and some helpful definitions. The last question was, do you have a do not disturb setting for your psyche, and do you know how to use it? So in psychology, the psyche is the totality of the human mind, including both conscious and unconscious thoughts, feelings, and motivations. The word psyche comes from a Greek word which means the soul, mind, spirit, or invisible animating entity which occupies the physical body. So our psyche is our soul, our mind, and the life force within us. Regarding my opening question, can we be present and unavailable at the same time? So, available is defined as at someone's disposal, able to be used. It also means that we are free to do something. Not sure what that was. Okay. At someone's disposal, able to be used, or free to do something. Now, if we hold that thought for just a bit, with your permission, I would like to take those definitions and just set them aside for a moment while I share a story with you. So most of you know that I had successful cancer surgery in July and are probably also aware that I missed a Sunday in September because I spent the night in the ER with a possible heart issue. The stress test that was administered during my time in the ER was negative, which means they didn't find anything actionable with regard to the heart. And it turns out that some OTC medicine to manage acid reflux seems to be helping. So, in general, while I've been feeling pretty well physically in recent weeks, in looking back, I came to realize that since the surgery, I had been dissolving into a bit of a hot mess, mentally and emotionally. Now, I say had been, because I truly believe that divine spirit grabbed a hold of me just before I crashed and burned. It pumped the brakes, grabbed the steering wheel, and deposited me safely on the side of the road. Now, before I fill you in on the details of how that came to be, I need to share just a bit more with you so you have the full picture. So, even before my surgery and my diagnosis, I had received a referral for physical therapy to resolve some lower back and hip issues that were becoming increasingly bothersome for me. Unfortunately, I had to postpone starting that program until August, after I had my final appointment with my surgeon. So once I got started with the 8-week program that they had prescribed for me, it wasn't long before I was completely overwhelmed with the time commitment. I was scheduled to be at their office twice a week for a 1-hour session with a physical therapist and given a list of exercises to do at home 2 times a day, 5 days a week. Every time I went to their office, more exercises were added. So within a few weeks, these twice-a-day home sessions in total were taking up like 3 to 4 hours to complete. Now, all of this was happening at the same time that I was trying to get back to work full-time after my surgery and preparing to expand my post-surgery at-home exercises to include working with a different physical therapist who specialized in breast cancer surgical recovery. I was feeling overwhelmed, inadequate, out of control, and I found myself drowning in a chorus of, "What's wrong with me? Why can't I do this?" And it really was kind of on the verge of tears or screaming, more often than I care to admit. So that's where I found myself last month when, again, Spirit pumped the brakes, grabbed hold of the steering wheel, and deposited me safely on the side of the road. That's when I came to grips with the fact that my do not disturb setting had stopped working, and fear, doubt, worry, and anxiety were running the show. So now I can tell you how the rescue mission unfolded. After my night in the ER, I started to have this recurring thought: get back into the flow. Get back into the flow. It was that small, still voice that kept whispering to me at all hours of the day, regardless of what I was doing or what I was focusing on. After a day or two of this, I remembered that Eric Butterworth had written a book called In the Flow of Life. Now, I didn't remember reading it or studying it in one of my ministerial classes, but I immediately checked my own library to see if I had a copy of it. Well, no such luck. But the following day, when I was here at the church, I ran up to the bookstore, checked there, didn't have one, and then over to the lending library, and there it was. So I took it off the shelf and opened it, and I saw a small return mail label address on the inside cover. The name on the label is Adrian Eichard, who was one of the founding members of our Tuesday morning prayer circle. And as if seeing her name wasn't inspiration enough, right above the label, she had a handwritten notation. It said P132. So I sat down on the nearest chair and opened the book to the page she had referenced and began to read from the section that she had marked on that page. And this is what it said. Whenever someone we love passes to a new consciousness or into a new experience, or even from this plane of life to another plane, it is a positive thing. There is always a constant movement of good. Now, my language, because this constant movement of good is always there, ultimately, all things come to pass. Both the heartache and the joy that are often associated with major shifts and changes that occur in life always will come to pass. Why? Because of this constant movement of good. Back to Eric's words. The only way to find a continuing sense of peace and fulfillment is to be adventurous, to face every new day in the consciousness that this is a new day, and I will accept its blessings and its challenges, its heartache and its joy. And then the passage goes on to say this. If you are experiencing a physical challenge, you can take hope and strength in knowing that this too shall pass. But when it does pass away, and you come out of your tunnel and into the light, one thing cannot be overlooked. You will never be the same again. Resist the temptation to get back to the way things were. Remember that in the way things were, there was a subtle storm brewing. A subtle storm brewing within you that finally erupted into your illness. Don't look back. Look forward to new experiences. The desire to get back to normal is unrealistic. Let me say that one more time and then we'll affirm it together. The desire to get back to normal is unrealistic. Together, the desire to get back to normal is unrealistic. The tests in the 6th grade may be harder, and they should be. But you could not gain anything by trying to get back to the 3rd grade where the tests were easier. Actually, they only seem easier now because you're looking at them through the perspective of a 6th grader. So through prayer and reflection, I have come to understand that my intense desire to get back to normal is probably what short-circuited my Do Not Disturb feature and caused it to stop working. For me, the small, still voice that guided me to Butterworth's book and to Adrian's passage in it is a crystal clear example of divine intervention. It helped me to understand and accept that I had gone through my tunnel and into the light and would never be the same again. Because every day is a continuing experience of growth. I am not broken, I am evolving. So the passage continues with these words. Accept what you see as the facts of your experience, but know that they are not final. These things usually indicate where you are in consciousness and unfoldment. In the flow of life, there can be no hopeless situation, no incurable illness, and no last straw. In the final analysis, it is only the intangible something that we call God that remains unchanged in and through all things. All else is transitory, changing, growing, progressing. All else comes to pass as we continuing the spiraling pathway toward the realization of our own God potential. All else comes to pass as we continue on the spiraling pathway toward the realization of our own God potential. It is in knowing, understanding, and believing and living from this truth that the code for our Do Not Disturb feature is written and operational. It is in knowing, understanding, believing, and living from this truth that we can be present to the world and unavailable to be used by it, used by others, or at their disposal. It allows us to be present to the world, but it also gives us that do not disturb feature. So, living life from the inside out, we are present to the world and free to choose how we will show up in it. We are in the world, but not of the world. And we are in the flow of life, open to the blessings and to the challenges of each new day. So that's my thought for now. And my wish for you always is that you never really lose your do not disturb feature. You know how to work it and operate it. You use it wisely. And always, always, always live life from the inside out. God bless you.
Thank you, Reverend Judy. That was perfect. Great reminder that change is always constant. I'm Kim Varney, a member of your board, and I would like to invite all of you in the sanctuary and those of you at home to join us in our October board affirmation. Centered in divine wisdom, I trust my inner knowing. And could you join me in the offertory blessing as the ushers come forward? Divine love through me blesses and multiplies all that I am, all that I have, all that I give, and all that I receive. Now, the choir, get ready. They're going to knock your socks off.
The creative spirit of singing is a prayer sung twice or offered twice. I believe that. Let's just give it to She's talented, she's smart, she's just pretty wonderful. So, as we get ready to close out our service, let's offer some thanks for our tithes and offering. Loving Spirit, thank you for all our incredible blessings. We are surely grateful. Use these gifts given today and throughout the week to strengthen our positive presence in our community and in our spiritual home. Hold all who are facing challenges in the light and surround them in love. And continue prayers for all our leaders right now so that they may collaborate together for humankind. Let's continue to share our love and light with those we meet and always remember that all is well. Amen. And as we bring our service to a close, I invite you to please stand, if you are able, and join me in our prayer for protection. The light of God grounds us. The love of God enfolds us. The power of God protects us. The presence of God watches over us. Wherever we are, God is, and all is well. And now we'll close with the peace song. You may hold hands with your neighbor or hands over your heart, and we will connect within.